Hey, Spider-Pig here, and we're going to look at some footage here I recently did with Fortnite. And I had this, I think it's I want to say purple pistol, and I was just on a roll with it for, I was able to take down so many enemies with it. I think I had to give 3 kills specifically with this pistol, or 3 or 4. But I figured, that's one right there. Somebody ended up I ended up swapping for something and ended up dropping it. Somebody took it after this, but I just really was impressed with how much fun this was to kind of shoot the pistol, because it was a really good pistol. And we'll take a look at some other game footage in a little bit as well. My recent win, I think, was really good, and I wanted to show off kind of my grotto technique, basically, of taking over the grotto real quickly and getting through that. But I think we'll have a little fun watching. This is season 2 at this point, and good. All right, so it looks like somebody out there. Pistol again. There you go, another one. I'm able to, just because of my Call of Duty time, I'm able to switch real quickly. There's a guy to my right there. Yeah, that guy. You can see how quickly I kind of just nailed him there. Just because I'm so used to in Call of Duty with the pistol and stuff like that. Well, yeah, I don't know if that was the last kill with pistol, but we'll find out here in a sec. Oh, we just stopped. Remember that. I think it was when we were leaving this area. I think I was getting something and I swapped. Somebody else took it, so. Yep. Push the pistol again. And there you go again. Another kill with the pistol. It was a surprisingly accurate pistol. It's pretty good. I definitely could use it if I had no other weapon. But even I think I did have better weapons this one. I don't know how to get it to show you all my weapons and stuff like that. But I did have better weapons than the pistol. But I was still using it for quite a bit of time until I lost it. But it's always kind of good to get to know most weapons anyway. I was showing the chest here, and I'm like, one of those like, where the hell's the chest? So there's another kill right there. Yeah, of course it did help that I had my friends with my teammates with me, and they did have an SMG as well. Stop this for a sec, and let's go to another match here for a sec. We'll leave this. We'll go take a look at my recent match that I end up winning solo on, because I wanted to show you the kind of the grotto technique, and I'll walk you through. Surprisingly, in the solo one, I just won solo win. Was that today? Yep, that's today. The interesting thing about it is normally when I play solo I try to hide as much as possible, and I kind of use that technique, just stay in the circle, hide, and take on the enemies when you need to. In this case, it was kind of I ended up I think getting 5 kills overall, which is fairly high for me in a solo game. I think my record in a game has been I want to say 11. But yeah. So let's actually just go right back a little further back here, so you can see this is basically me going into the grotto. And what I do when I go in the grotto is I go right for the red box right there, and that red box will let you disguise yourself as a henchman. And what that does is basically make sure the henchmen don't shoot you, which is what you want, because if the henchmen shoot you, all these areas are going to be tough. So whenever you go into any one of these like new areas, make sure you find the red boxes first. Then you can unlock these boxes. And this one specifically had, I think, just the minigun. It wasn't anything too good. The minigun's not bad. So what I do from here is I go left and I go across the water here to this next little area, and I unlock the box that's in here. And I think there was a rifle behind me that I get anyway. A second. Sometimes you have to hold it and you can't move while you're scanning yourself. I think it's just this one, basically med kits and all that stuff, and I did get the green, basically. I swapped out here. I was making some swaps, I think, at this point. And then I go, yeah, so if you touch the guys, you kind of have to, you lose your disguise, so I just quickly went back, and, you know, I kind of just got my disguise again, before anybody could see me. Alright, and then, right after this little area, there's a chest right here in this container that I always get. That was kind of good, and there's, and then I go in here and make a left, and there's a chest and one of these henchman chests as well. So I kind of get that, and I think, you know, I got basically the, I think I took, yeah. It's kind of hard to see without my HUD. So at this point I had full health, full armor, and then I just took the SMG, I think, over here. And then if you go into this bucket right here, not this bucket, this toilet right here, it takes you closer to where the henchman guy is. So, so right here, I usually I could have got the chest there on the right, but I usually make a left here. This chest is really, nobody ever picks this one, so I kind of got this one. And you go up, and this is kind of where you have to find the boss guy. So I'm here, I'm looking around, I go upstairs, just kind of looking around. I don't see the boss. If I don't see the boss, I'll go down this hallway, because down this hallway is another chest and another henchman's chest. So I'll check it. Typically I find that the henchman's chests are kind of all the same, so, you know, they all have the minigun, which is not bad, but, you know, I'm kind of like looking for something a little better. I had the green AR at this point. So right now, I'm still looking for the boss. Boss guy's right there. There's two other guys there, so I'm kind of going to go hide myself a little bit. And I'm going to try to kind of get a headshot right away before he fires his minigun. And then I'm going to kind of hide, or try to get some, you know, away from the other guys. I'm going to wait for that guy. I think I'll just end up using the minigun just to take him out. Yeah. And then the weird thing is, in order to use the card, you have to swap. You have to use a slot in your thing. So I traded it, and now I don't have my disguise on. So what I usually do is I kind of jump down, and I try to get there as quickly as possible before I get shot at to get the disguise again. Because again, once you have the disguise, you're pretty good, and they won't bother you. Now at this point, I could have got that henchman chest, but at this point, I'm going to go in the vault, and the vault's going to have better stuff anyway. The vault does take a couple seconds to open. The nice thing about the vault is it also has one of those toilet things to take you outside, so it's easier to get outside, so you can get to where the circle is. The circle wasn't too far away at this point, so that was kind of good. So I just kind of picked everything. I don't know if I got everything. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, pick as much as you can. Usually if you're doing this with a team, make sure your team is kind of picking up stuff as well. Because there's tons of stuff here. Getting health. So, and then go in there. And that takes you outside. And then I usually just go up there. So we'll follow the game, and I'll just kind of tell you what I was thinking about at this point. At this point, I was going to go run into the circle, and again, where my strategy is run into the circle and kind of hide. I usually try to let people kill themselves, and you know, kind of take out just the last remaining guys. In this particular game, I ended up getting 5 kills, which is fairly high for me in a solo game. Solo game, I try to be a little more tactful In squad games, I usually just, try to kill as many people as possible, kind of thing. But in this particular one, it was very interesting that I got 5. So I'm kind of looking around as usual, and I know that bridge area is going to have some loot. I think I remember being low on uh, the rifle ammunition. Excuse me. So I was trying to figure out, okay, I'm going to risk going to the bridge, trying to get some ammunition so I have enough for the rifle, which is obviously a SCAR, which is a very good weapon. And I wanted to make sure that I have as much ammo for it as possible. And I do think there is a chest in here as well. So I grabbed that. I grabbed everything in there. And then I did see that there's an AR there, and I just grabbed the ammunition. And originally I was just going to check out the bridge, but I figured people might be on the bridge, so I ended up turning around, I think over at this point, yeah, and going down to the lower level. And over here there's more ammunition, which is really what I was looking for. And under the chest, and then I moved more into the circle. Usually I'm afraid there's those people underneath me when I cross the bridge here, so I'm kind of more careful. I didn't know if these more ammo here. I didn't know one of them was hiding, and originally I was just hiding, thinking maybe I'll just hide in here until the storm comes in. But then I did come out in a second. I'm like, all right, this is not coming good. And then I decided, okay, let's check over here. Then I decided to check the other toilet thing, and it did take me somewhere. No, I think it took me closer to where. Yeah, henchmen. I heard henchmen. I don't know if they're actually there, but that might be one of the safe houses. I don't know. So here I was just hiding until the next storm, and you could see across there somebody was building. So I was kind of like a little careful, trying to listen. And I was just kind of hiding there until the storm came in. And I think the storm just kind of came in. You kind of watched the storm there coming in. And as soon as it came in and the next circle popped up, yeah, you can hear the next circle pop up. I made a run for it. I still didn't see the henchmen, but I was kind of careful. So as I'm running around, I'm looking. I have a wide screen. You can kind of see how wide this is. I'm kind of always looking to my peripheral as well. I think the widescreen really helps a lot in that, where I can see some people on the sides where normally I wouldn't be able to see people. I did notice the AR there, so again, I'm really trying to get as much ammo before the end of the game here, so I can just be able to kind of kill as much as possible and not run out of ammo, which happens sometimes at the end of the game. I did notice the farm here, and I'm like, this is a great place to hide. Lots of rooms in this farmhouse, so that's where I'm going to go. And that's what I did. And even when I'm hiding, I'm always looking at the windows, and you'll see I was able to get, I believe, 1 or 2 kills around here. And obviously I hear gunshots. I'm like, okay, somebody's around here. Let's find a place to hide. I try to leave areas like as much as, like, basically if I go in a room, I'll try to close the door. As you heard, I just closed the door because I don't want to show people that there's people there. So I try to kind of hide as much as possible, make it seem like nobody was there. So I heard gunshots, and so I did take the decoy. I do like the decoys, so they're kind of useful if you use them correctly in game. So more ammo there. I was trying to find the people outside the windows. I'm kind of scanning outside the windows. I'm crouched because I don't want to expose myself. I noticed the guy there, and I was just kind of watching him. I popped up when he was drinking, and bam, just, I think 3 shots is all it took. And I didn't know if anybody else saw me, and I was just kind of just hiding to see if I was going to get shot at. Nobody shot at me, but I figured, okay, let me wait here for a little bit. I did notice somebody building, so I'm like, okay, I was looking up to see if I could see them. I didn't see anybody. And then I noticed, I think in a second here, I did notice somebody else. I was expecting them to come through that door, and nobody came through the door. Then I noticed the banana guy, and I was trying to get a headshot on him, because he was fighting the other guy, but I couldn't just get a good shot. So I think I just started shooting and spraying at one point. I did hit him for 70, and then he kind of ran away. I hit him for 35 there. So, at that point, I figured whoever was shooting at him was probably watching me shoot him, or at least knew where I was coming from. So it's going to be a little more careful. So it's kind of like keeping an eye on the door. And my goal was just to stay here until the storm came in. And you'll see I kind of heard a lot of commotion here. I was trying to find what was the best place to be to shoot if somebody came through that door. And you could hear people coming. Definitely people there. So I had it aimed. And usually when I aim at the door, I kind of aim it at head level. That way I can get a quick, headshots once they come in. I switched to MSG just in case. That way I can get more fire on the target. You can hear they're very close. They're very, very close. But I'm just staying quiet, and I get my SMG aimed, ready to pounce. And you heard there's definitely he's got a shotgun. Someone's got a fully auto. So just waiting. Let them kill each other. I always try to minimize the work I have to do. And then you hear the circle change, and at this point I'm kind of just waiting until I don't hear any noise, and then I was gonna go like, okay, I gotta get going. And I was trying to see if I could maybe take one more guy out the window, or which way should I leave, and I decided to go through the door, and I'm kind of just careful. Like alright, so at this point I went back for the ammo again, for rifle ammo. And then I'm like, alright, let's get out of here. So I'm like, we're going to just bust the way out of here. I don't typically like to make noise. I don't typically like to attract anybody. I've heard footsteps, start shooting. Did quite a bit of damage on this one. So I did have, and he had I don't know if he had a better scar than I did. I don't think he did. So I had to heal up here. Now, one thing I'm really not good at is building. But again, if I would have built around me, like people could have seen that. And I try not to build unless I really need to. So I did grab some stuff here. I pretty much had good stuff. I switched it for the shotgun. Because in case close quarters, and I try to kind of heal up as much as possible, and then start running again. Now again, this is where the widescreen comes in, and the widescreen is, I think, 2K. It's basically two 1080s next to each other, and I think so. The resolution is 2560 by 1080. So. Basically, you take two normal monitors, put them side by side, and that's what the resolution of this monitor is. Now, I noticed that guy from the side, and I'm like, I'm going to see if I can sneak up behind him. And he can't see me yet, and I can't see him, but I know where he's at. So I'm just kind of going up, and he starts building, which I thought he saw me, but he didn't. So I just kind of waited for him, and then I start shooting, and I took him down. Interestingly enough, this guy had a burst gold burst rifle. So I'm like, I'm taking that. Normally I don't like the burst rifles, but I'm like, that one's going to be pretty powerful. If I can use it correctly, I'm just going to just use that, and I'll be okay. So I kind of come up here, and I like to stay at high places because I can see lower and I can see what's going on. I did notice people building there, and I noticed these two people fighting down here. So my goal is really not to interact as much and just kind of watch, but I decided to take this guy down because he's just really easy for me to take down. And the other guy, I think, ended up killing him. So I knew there was at least one guy down there, two guys up where they're building over there. This guy starts shooting at me. He's in the bushes, so he's pretty good because he's going in the bushes. And I couldn't really get a good beat on him, so I was just trying to wait for him to fire so I can kind of see where he's firing from. And then I was just kind of, but then I realized I had to move out, and once I started hitting him, he didn't move, which is his issue, because if he would have moved, he would have lived, because I had no way of seeing him. But he didn't move, so he died, and at this point I was able to heal up, and you know, I just grabbed the burst again. I had a couple seconds. Those guys were still fighting each other. They weren't fighting. They didn't notice me, which is kind of nice. You kind of try to stay hidden as much as possible and kind of let everybody else kill themselves, and try not to interfere. This again, I was having issues with the controller here, and I'm like, I was trying to switch for that for the thing, so I was having issues with that, and so I kind of released two decoys, which is weird, but I figured if they're gonna shoot me, they were gonna kill the decoys first anyway. So, and then I got that, I healthed up, and so I got health, and I got shields at this point, so I'm all good. And I'm like, okay, let me just grab an extra shield. I'm all good. Grab as much stuff as possible. This was still here. You know, so they had a. I do like the bazooka gun. Now I knew there's at least two guys over here. Actually, I think at this point there's only one left, and the circle was getting smaller. Now my original goal was, and if the map was on the screen, you could see that there was going to be a drop coming over where that tree was, and I was like, all right, let me go there. But then the circle kind of got really smaller, and I'm like, you know what? Let me not risk it, and I'll go around the mountain and try to climb to the top. Because at this point there's only one guy left. I thought I could make it to the drop, but then the storm came in, and I'm like, I don't want to lose any health to the storm. And I did notice at this point the guy was building over there. He was building with metal. So I was going to see if I can get above him on this mountain, and then kind of take him out that way. He didn't notice me. I just noticed him. I wanted to get a better shooting position. And then I was just kind of waiting, and I basically went up the mountain here. And as soon as I saw him, I don't know how, oh, I guess the storm took it out. He started building, and I'm just kind of carefully just waiting for him to pop up, and then shoot him when he pops up. This is really why you want a lot of ammo, because you're going to be expending a lot of. At this point, I figured, you know what, let me just try to knock the whole thing down. I don't know if he took any fall damage. That was my goal, that he would take fall damage. He didn't seem to be affected too much by it. So I was just kind of waiting for him to pop up, and then I'd shoot. And, you know, I'm hiding behind the mountain. I'm using the mountain as cover. And, you know, I tend not to really build. I probably should build more. And I think I did end up building in this one just to kind of throw him off a little bit. And so I knew he had to run in because the storm was killing him. So I was just kind of like, all right, you know, let me take a second. I'll put up a quick thing. Now, I'm playing on a PC, but I'm playing with an Xbox controller. I didn't know how to change the building material yet. So at this point, you know, I'm reloading. I'm waiting for him to pop up there, and as soon as he popped up there, I got a couple headshots, and bam, victory royale. So that's probably like one of my best solo games. I don't know if they have the stats or anything. I don't know if I can see that. But yeah, 5 kills right there, and it was pretty good. I definitely, you know, enjoyed that one. So hopefully you enjoyed this coverage of my latest victory. If you want more Fortnite gameplay, let me know, and I'll put it up. Thanks.